All right, welcome back. And last time we talked about lists. Today, we'll still be talking about lists. Now, we are going to learn how to modify a list. So it's very possible that you already know how to do that, especially after the previous videos. But I'm just going to show you just in case you haven't searched it up already. So let's start. And we have this example. We have an array called A, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so now A is an array or list of 1, 2, 3, 4. I will use array and list interchangeably in my courses in case you didn't notice already. There's a little bit of a difference, but I'm not going to go into it now. In some sense, array is more tied about the hardware notion of a continuous memory with each element identical in size. So exactly like what we have here, because all of these are elements which are integers in our case. And a list is more of a concept in a mathematical sense, where elements are ordered and where there is a beginning to an end and indexing is possible. So yes, an array and a list, for me, I use it interchangeably. Depending on what language, it might mean different things. For example, maybe in C++, an array is a contiguous memory, but then you could also have a linked list, which is actually not a contiguous memory where it bounces from one value to another. If you didn't understand what I just said, don't worry about it because we will cover that in other courses, especially in the memory model course. Anyways, from now on, array and list is the same thing. I just use it interchangeably. All right, so I have a list here. And then the list is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then remember how you can access certain elements like 2, like the second index, it means 0, 1, 2, and I get 3. So what you can do using this almost the same syntax is you can assign it a value. Let's assign it 8, and then A2 will now be 8. A2 used to be 3, but now it's 8. And if you look at the whole array, it is also modified. So yeah, so that's pretty much how you modify an array given an index. So what happens if you give another array? Yeah, in that case, that just becomes another array, right? And then you could also add arrays. Let's see what happens if I add my array A plus 1, 2, 3, which is an array that's smaller. Let's see if that works. So what happened is it concatenates, right? It didn't do what I thought it did. I thought it would just add 1 to 1, 2 to 5, and 3 to 7. But no, it just concatenates them, and now it's a longer list, right? And then now I get A, and A has not been modified. Why? Because here, A plus this array, or this list, it creates a whole new list. So A was not modified. However, when I modify it like this, I modify a specific value, in this case 8, I want to assign it 0, then now A has been modified. But if I do this, technically it's a whole new array. So I could do like B equals that. So now B is A plus that, and then A hasn't changed. A is the same thing as before, right? And if I modify the value in A, let's say the first element, I want it to be 5 now, A is changed. Will B change? Will B be 557036, as we see here? No, it is not, because it creates a whole new array. All right, let's clear this. So now you know how to modify a list. All right, let's do one exercise where I define a function called square list, and I give it a list, and I will call it nums. And what I want to do is I want to return the same list, but every number is square. So return the same list, but all numbers squared, right? So what I want is 1, 2, 3 to become 1, 4, 9, because 1 times 1 equals 1, 2 times 2 equals 4, and 3 times 3 equals 9. That's what I want. All right, so how would I do this? So first, we have to loop through the list, and we learned how to do that. So first, we have a while loop, I equals 0, while I is smaller than length of nums. So that means we're going to loop through the whole list. And then we remember how to modify an array is we give it an index and we equal to something. So for example, if I equal to 0 and then at the end of the loop, while I modified the whole list, I want to return it. So let's just look at this for now. square list, and then I give it the list 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. What do you think will happen? I will get a list of a bunch of zeros. Oh, it seems like it's not doing anything. I wonder why. Well, if you paid attention, you'll realize that I made a bug. It's because I never increment I. So always remember, that is a very common bug. So I plus equals 1. So now I increment it. Now, whenever I go through the loop after each iteration, I increases by 1. If you don't increase it, you're going to be stuck in this loop because I is always 0 and 0 is always smaller than the length of my list. All right, let's try this again. Square list, 1, 2, 3. What do I get? I get all zeros. Why? Because I assigned all, or I modified all of the values within the array to become 0. Now, what do I want? I want the square of the value. Easy. I'm just going to multiply by my own value, myself, and reassigning it to myself. And let's try it. Square list. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Let's try more numbers. 5. There you go. They're all squared. Perfect. Just for fun, not related to modifying a list, but let's just, because we're already on fire, let's try one more problem. This one is return the sum of all the numbers in the list. Sum list. All right, how would you do that? So what you want to do is you want to have a number like total, initialize it to 0 first, and then we're going to have a while loop. So in while loop, you always need to initiate the variable, have a while statement, and increment your iterator, your I. And then what do you want to do here? Here's where you do the magic. I think I'll do total, and then what should I add to my total? Do I add I? Do I add nums? What do I add? I add nums I. The reason why is because I want to access the number in the list of this index, of the ith index, and add it to my total. And then I just return total. All right, run it. Sum list, 1, 2, 3. What is that gonna give me? It's gonna give me 6 because 3 plus 2 plus 1 equals 6. All right, cool, easy. So this was a short lesson, and I hope now you know how to modify an array based on the index. All right, I'll see you in the next one.